Started so that we don't keep anyone waiting. Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Marketing Mondays, a 5-part digital marketing webinar series. I'm Jolene Carey Pace, the program coordinator at the Wilkes University Small Business Development Center, and I'm very happy that all of you could join us this afternoon. This 5-part series is hosted in partnership with Ideaworks Marketing and Cole Creative. Today for our third session, How to Make Your Business Virtual, we have Sam O'Connell, Creative Director of Cole Creative, presenting today. Just a quick note before we begin to please put yourselves on mute so that we can avoid having any background noise. Also, as we go along, you can type any questions that you might have into the chat box. And there will also be time at the end of the presentation to ask any questions. And now I will go ahead and hand it over to Sam. Thank you.
Jolene, appreciate the introduction here. Welcome to the third session of Marketing Mondays. I'm really excited. My name is Samuel O'Connell. I am the creative director at Cole Creative, which is a marketing firm in downtown Wilkes-Barre that really focuses on fueling websites, videos, as well as social media marketing and traditional marketing, such as PR and other items like print items and stuff like that. It's truly a pleasure to be here. It seems like we have a nice tight group here today, so we can, have good conversation and talk really specifically about what you're experiencing as business owners or people in the business space here in NEPA, and probably one of the more unique and potentially difficult times in the history of business here in northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've prepared a brief slideshow just to kind of help what I'm talking about and support what I'm talking about. Bear with me one moment. Let me know if you don't see it. You should see Marketing Mondays. Looking good. All right, perfect. Now today we're talking about how to make your business virtual, which is a question that was very, very commonly heard here at Cole Creative back this time last year. When the pandemic first happened and we were in the red phases and the yellow phases, businesses were certainly affected, and a lot of our local businesses that are traditionally brick and mortar had to ask themselves this question. And over the past year, I hope that I've gotten pretty good at answering it, and that I can provide some insights and thoughts. Like I said, this is a nice tight group, so please feel free to pipe in at any time with thoughts, questions, or observations, and we can have a dialogue about it. I'm really excited to be here. That is me. That's my smiling mug there. I am the creative director at Cole Creative, and what that means specifically is that I work really closely between our collaborators, which we call our clients collaborators, because truly making sure that we're effectively and efficiently marketing for businesses here in NEPA, it's a collaboration. I work really closely between our collaborators and our various teams here at Cole Creative to make sure that the vision and the marketing goals of whatever type of campaign or specific project we're working on are fully realized, and that they're effectively created and produced and released out to the world, and that any type of goals that are set in the beginning of a marketing campaign, that they're met. My background is as a filmmaker. I went to film school back in the day, and I have been when I transitioned from school into the professional world, I took the idea of filmmaking and applied it to marketing. So the idea that you have to really engage with somebody and get them hooked on a story, and have people follow what you're trying to market to them, almost like they would a movie. And then during the climax, you want them to make that decision to buy or engage with you in your service. So I take a filmmaking approach to marketing, and in my opinion, I think it's a pretty effective and unique way to market, and especially now in 2021, where people really want to feel engaged with the product or service that they're buying or engaging with. So that's me. I'm Sam O'Connell. I'm the creative director at Cole Creative. We are a marketing firm, like I said, in downtown Wilkes-Barre. We're made up of just about 15 individuals now. That photo is even a little outdated. During the pandemic, we've grown our team and made sure that we can offer a real dynamic set of services to business owners like yourselves. I think for more information about Cole Creative, you can certainly visit colecreative.com. We really are proud of our website. We just remade it in the year 2021, and we think it really effectively shows who we are, what we do, and our commitment to our community. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? The who, what, where, and why of getting your business online. So, who's online? Pretty much everybody. Your potential customers or your customers are online. Certainly, your competitors are online. What do you do? So that's the what. So could an online presence help? If you have a business, is it online? Is having a website going to help you? Is being on social media and being engaged on social media, is that going to help? In most cases, the answer is going to be yes. There, spoiler alert. Where? So where should you be online? So there's social media platforms, website builders, and where can you engage with people, whether they're freelancers or an agency. And then why should you get your business online, which is really the core of what this presentation here should be about. All right, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So are you online? Because your customers are. So the different focuses of being online. So you have your website, which is, people you traditionally use search engines to find you, or if they're looking for you specifically, or maybe they've seen a little bit of your marketing, they could find that URL. So are you online? Do you have a website? Are you on social media? Can people reach out to you, find your hours really quickly from platforms like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn? Are you online in another place? So there's other ways to be online, such as databases, Yelp, which you may not have control over, but you're still going to be online and people could still find you and your services from those platforms. Or are you completely off the grid? You're not on a website, you're not on social media, and you might not be able to be located on those platforms like Yelp or like databases. So these questions, are you online? They should have, if you're on those, wonderful. But if not, we're still gonna kind of go through some of those beginning steps. I know we got somebody jumping in right now. Might give them a moment just to hop in. I see one more person's jumping in. Hi, Ricky. Welcome to the third session of this SBDC series, How to Get Your Business Online. We are talking about how you can be online. So whether it's a website, social media, or something else entirely. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. So the first question that we're going to ask is, what do you do? And could an online presence help? What I was saying earlier is during the pandemic, with new rules in place, brick and mortar businesses without an online presence had to pivot. And we spent a lot of the pandemic creating websites, creating e-commerce web stores for people, or working on people's social media presence so they can engage with their customers and potential customers in a really seamless way. We found that during the pandemic, there was a humongous influx of people using the internet. They were browsing because that's all they could do. And much to the detriment of a lot of the brick and mortar businesses who were not online, and they had to find a way to still sell their product or service. So we found in that time that having a brick and mortar, an online presence certainly helped or could help there. Your customers are really, they are online and they're eager to engage with you. So it should be as easy as possible, whether that's through a website or social media, which are becoming more and more enabled to handle business. So you'll find on Facebook, you can even sell products now. Your competitors are also online. A question that we get quite often is, I am online, but when you Google me, my competitor comes above me. And that's one of the biggest requests that we get is, can you make me appear on Google or on Bing above my competitor? And it can be a challenge because there's a lot of different opportunities to make your site better or more search engine optimized, which we'll talk about even in a later session more in depth, because I could talk for many hours on how to make your website search engine optimized. But based on all these factors, your competitors could appear above you. And if you don't have an online presence yet, they certainly have a head start in engaging with your potential customers. Even if they're out of the area, people might have to turn to them first without before they even know that your service or business or store exists. And it takes more than simply setting up and forgetting about it. So if you build a website, you make that investment, or you spend all that time making it yourself, or if you're very active and you set up a Facebook, you still have to put content on there, and you still have to keep it updated and interesting for people for it to actually work, because there are so many websites, there's so many businesses out there competing for people's attention, that you really have to make sure you have an engaging you have an engaging presence online in order to keep people engaged. It really should become a part of your workflow as you do business. So if you're a business here locally, or even beyond that, you want to make sure that you know you are dedicating some time and energy and focus into making sure that your business is online and updated. Oftentimes we hear people in business who are also trying to manage this themselves, and it becomes number 11 on their list of 10 things to do, and it just becomes very difficult to make sure that it's up to date. But I'm sure what some people experience is that might have been the difference in someone finding your product or service. I think at this time it might be okay, since there's a handful of us, maybe to talk about what you do and why you are here. And I'm wondering if anybody wants to jump in here and talk about their business and whether or not they're online. I'm going to call on our new person who's in the chat here, Ricky. Welcome to the chat. I'm wondering if you have audio services available that you could talk to us about what your business is. And if not, we can just use some use case examples here about other people that we've experienced. I'll give you another moment. No pressure.
Sam, Ricky's indicated in the chat that he has no audio, but he is starting an e-com.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let me pull up that chat. Sorry about that, guys. All right. You have an e-commerce store, and I'm certain that you faced either an influx of that. Is that something that you developed before the pandemic, or is that something that because of restrictions that you transitioned to an e-commerce store? I'll give you a second here to answer. Okay, very exciting, and good job pivoting to start your business during the pandemic. So Ricky responded saying that they sell gift products and hope to learn Facebook advertising. No selling or retailing experience, started this business during the pandemic. So certainly Facebook advertising is a game changer as far as getting your product or service out there to a new audience. Now, before, when I first started in marketing, I started about 16 years ago as someone who designed ads for magazines. That would be a traditional way to market. So we have our magazines, our billboards, getting in the phone book, and items like that to get your product or service in front of people. With social media, you had the opportunity to really hone in on exactly who you want to target and only spend money on those customers. So you didn't waste any of your budget, of your marketing budget, marketing the people who wouldn't be interested in your service. Oftentimes with a billboard, you'll go to put one up and they'll say, well, 100,000 people pass that on a daily basis. But how many of them are actually your customer? Because you're paying for all 100,000 of those eyes to hit that billboard, and they certainly factor all of that into their pricing. So we can certainly touch on Facebook advertising as we move forward in the presentation. But right now we're talking about websites. Ricky, if you don't mind, if you want to drop some free publicity here, if you want to drop your website URL into the chat, we can check it out and spread the word. Welcome, Christine, to session 3 of the SBD series, Marketing Mondays. Glad to have you here. All right, so, oh, wonderful. Excited to see you. Send me an email when it's done. I'd love to check it out. Love supporting local and love to see what you've created there. So just continuing on with the presentation here. Why do you need a website? So if you're not online or you're still working on that website, these points should just cement why you might need or want a website as a place where people could find you online. So whether you're selling products, maybe your brick and mortar business closed or is temporarily closed due to COVID-19, your competitor has one and you want to make sure that you are just as easy to find as they are so that you can offer your service right alongside of them or even beyond them. Your customers are online, which is a fact. You want to increase business, you want to increase visibility. It's 2021 and most businesses have some type of online presence as a resource. So if someone wants to find out information, whether it's your hours, maybe the history of your business, organization, or service, and you want people to read that, to share your story and more. It's really important, especially I can speak as a millennial. We are constantly inundated with information and advertising and ads and sponsors that we really want to feel engaged with where we're going to be putting our resources. So more and more these days, you're going to find people who really want to know why they should support a business before they make their selection. Because as a local business here ourselves, we know that there's a lot of competitive opportunities out there. There's big brands that could make a logo, but why would they want to work with us here at Cole Creative? And that's a question we have to keep asking ourselves to make sure that we offer the best service and it's just as convenient. What makes a website good? Now, these aren't just points that are my opinion. These are also things that Google rates your website on. So just simply having a website doesn't mean you'll appear. You have to make sure that you have clear information, accurate information, easy navigation. And now in 2021, Google has also implemented that they want your website to be compliant with people who may have sight disabilities so that they can easily navigate and read all the information on your site, that the content, it has quality to it and it adds value to anybody who would be finding that on Google or wanting to read that or engage with that content, that it is quality content. And this last one is a little bit of a personal preference, but it is storytelling. Oftentimes with Cole Creative, people who have visited us online, they'll come into a meeting with us and they'll say, I feel like I know you, or I feel like, I truly know what your company offers and why we should collaborate because they've had that whole experience on our website. Now, certainly we are a web development company by nature, so we certainly are using all of our own tricks on our website of the trade. But we do feel like that having that really positive storytelling paired with easy navigation and clear information is what has gotten us this far. We get a lot of business from people who find us on Google or those types of search platforms, not just an NEPA. Having a website with clear content and a really good SEO score has allowed us to increase our radius of services that we offer, since a lot of what we do can be done remotely. And last week we were in Georgia for a video shoot, and this is all due to the fact that people are able to find us online, hear our story, and choose to engage with us right then and there. So I've broken down what types of websites there are. You would think that there's just a website, but there's 3 different websites that we've kind of broken it down by. So you have a landing page, which is just basically a 1-page sheet of information about what your business or service does and offers, and everything that someone might need to know before they're going to come visit or reach out for more information would be on that single landing page. Now that's contrasted by an interactive website. So if you go to Cole Creative, once again, as an example, you can navigate through several pages and you could really get an understanding of what we are, who we are, what we do, and how to engage with us. So that interactive website, people can go through, they can fill out a contact form and reach out to us for more information and get started almost primarily from the website. And then lastly, like Ricky had said, there's the e-commerce website, which has products for sale. So people can buy your product or service right then and there, pay for it online, and have it shipped or have that service scheduled all virtually online without ever having to interact with a person in person. So these are the three different types of websites. Which one is right for your business is something that only you can determine, or you can determine with a marketing partner who might be able to understand your business and take it from there. How do I make a website? This is a great question. And like I said earlier, it is 2021, so it is easier than ever to make a website. Whether you want to do it yourself, there's platforms like Wix, Shopify, or Squarespace, which make it pretty easy to get yourself online through a step-by-step process and using drag and drop builders. So basically, if you're familiar with using Facebook, it's just about that easy. So if you can get on Facebook, you can make yourself a Facebook. You can probably build yourself a website on one of these three platforms, which will look pretty nice. It'll be mobile friendly, and it does have capabilities like setting up that e-commerce store. Now, if you maybe you're not so good at a website, this first options DIY is meant that you could set it up yourself, or if there's somebody you know, whether a friend or family or niece or nephew, son or daughter, who can set that up for you, they can help you set yourself up. And oftentimes you can get yourself online in a matter of hours with a basic website through one of these drag and drop options. The second way I have listed of how you can make your own website is through collaborating with a freelancer. Oftentimes the step before an agency would be to find someone who develops websites as a specialty skill, and you could work with them one-on-one to bring your vision to life. Sometimes this is a little bit more cost effective than working with an agency like Cole Creative, because you're working one-on-one with somebody. The downside of that is that person may specialize in one certain area, such as developing. So they might be really great at coding a website or making custom components to a website. But when it comes to the eye for design or the strategic thinking that sometimes can be the difference maker in a website, they may not have all that. They may just have the one skill or component necessary to make that website and get it online. And then the last option would be agency, working with an agency like Cole Creative, which is oftentimes a holistic approach, which ensures that your website is exactly what you're looking for and accomplishes all of your goals. With an agency, sometimes you have designers on staff, as well as content writers. You have a strategist, and in addition to the developer. And then you have someone like a creative director who is making sure that everything is meeting the standards that are set in initial meetings with a client. So it's a really holistic approach. Those are the three options, and there's really not one true right way to do it. Now we're about to transition from getting your business online via a website to talking about social media. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that if anybody has a question, and there'll also be an opportunity for questions at the end, but anybody who has any specific questions about website, I know we're moving a little bit fast, just trying to lay this groundwork about getting your business online. But does anyone have any questions before we transition to social media? Perfect. So social media. Now, this has certainly been something that is a game changer in the world of marketing, in the world of business, and the world of getting the word out about your business. And while it's relatively new, it's certainly taken the world by storm. Most people are on social media. I believe Facebook has upwards of about 3 billion users. So much of the world is on Facebook and engaging on Facebook. Other platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, these are all different social media platforms that were invented with the idea of engaging with each other. But it was quickly noted that this is an opportunity for businesses to engage with their customers or potential customers. A quick overview of these social media platforms and how you can use them would be, you have to think about who your target audience is. So what your business does should determine what social media platforms you should have a presence on. Now, if you're in business, it could be overwhelming to think, well, I already don't have a lot of time to post on social media, and there's a dozen of them. Which ones do I select? How do I select the right social media platform to be on? And it really is determined by who's your target audience. Facebook certainly is the most popular social media platform, and it has a more generalized audience, but it's leaning older as time goes by. You see young people in the, millennial, a little younger than millennials, aren't using Facebook as much. They're on other platforms like TikTok or Instagram. So if you have an audience that's probably 24 years and older, it's going to be a no-brainer to get a social media page or a landing page on Facebook. Instagram is more younger millennial and a visual platform. So if your product or service is very visual or picturesque, you're going to want to be on Instagram to make sure that people can look at photos or engage with you in that way. But you always have to have a picture with it, and certainly better pictures do perform better. LinkedIn is more for professional services or business to business sales, and you're going to find a wide audience there of business professionals either in your area or beyond on LinkedIn. Now, other platforms that aren't as popular here in NEPA but are certainly popular elsewhere is Twitter. We certainly, oddly enough, we work with dozens of clients here on their social media presences, but we don't use Twitter. I would say we use Twitter on less than half of them, because it's not as present here in NEPA, and people aren't engaging with business as much here in NEPA. TikTok, which is really focused on the young generation. So if you have a product or service that is really catered to the young audience, you might want to consider getting on TikTok. And if you don't understand it, which I certainly was in that boat until I took a quick crash course on it, there's definitely a lot of YouTube videos that you can watch to fully understand how to use TikTok to engage with potential customers. YouTube is another one. If you have a service or product that you have videos of, you can put it on YouTube, and YouTube is owned by Google, so having YouTube videos is really helpful for your search engine optimization or SEO. And then Pinterest, if you have if you're in the wedding industry or something that people like to make plans around, it's a no-brainer to be on Pinterest. So it's really important that you select which social media platform you want to invest your time into as far as marketing your business. But if you only had to pick one, I would pick Facebook. So that is the end of the formal section of this presentation. But I'd like to open it up for any questions. I know, Rick, you were interested in learning about Facebook advertising, which is part of our May 24th section, actually, where we're talking about how to actually effectively market your business from home. So whether or not you're working on that e-commerce platform, you would use Facebook to market your products or services from that e-commerce platform. But we'll definitely dive really deep into that on May 24th. But certainly feel free to ask any specific questions that you have about that right now, and I could help to answer that. Also, if anybody wants to, if they're not on audio today, you can certainly type any questions into the chat as well. Give everybody a minute to potentially type a question in, and if not, we can go into some use case examples here.
Sam, it's Dorothy. I just have a quick question. I wonder sometimes about photographs that you use on either your website or in social media. Are there guidelines in terms of, where you can get maybe stock photos that are free and you can use, or is it like, what do you have to be aware of if you're taking your own picture to post? Are there certain elements that you need to be on top of? Can you speak to any of that?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really great question. I am for me, there's a lot of great resources out there, and they're becoming less and less expensive. Back in the day, when I first started, getting a stock photo it felt a little prohibitive. It was really expensive, and there weren't a lot of options available. But now there are a wide host of photos available for you to use for small cost or no cost. A website, I'm just going to go ahead and drop this here in the chat here, is called Pexels, and they have royalty-free, free to use photos that you can use that are really quite good, and they have a very big library of photos that you can use essentially for free. Now these, and when I say essentially, you can truly use them for free, but in some scenarios, depending on how renowned the photographer is, you may have to give credit. So you might say give credit for the photo, but that's very rare that you'll have to do that. So most of these pictures on pexels.com are completely free to use, and they are quite good. So we actually use Pexels in-house here based on our whether or not our client or collaborator, based on their budget, we might say, all right, well, here's our free resources that we have available, and that's through Pexels. And if it's something more specific that we can't find in that, we use Adobe Stock, which if anybody here is familiar, Adobe is a design suite of programs, and they also have a great stock library, which is pretty inexpensive, with photos ranging from under $1 to use to up to $75 based on how in-depth the photo is. But Pexels is a great service to use. Now, you'll hear this time and time again that on social media, the best, the posts that people engage with are well-designed, personal, or are very clear information. So Pexels, getting a nice dynamic picture is often a way to set your post apart from just maybe simply writing text or something like that. For sure. So I see that Ricky is registered for the 524 class, so that's really great. And like I said, we'll really be diving deep into the actual marketing of your business using a platform like Facebook. But if you are looking just to really get in depth and learn the program itself, or the business manager itself, which is you know, kind of the behind the scenes tool that Facebook uses to allow business managers to really utilize their platform. Oddly enough, I would suggest looking on YouTube, and there's a tutorial walkthrough, which really will help you, and it's created by Facebook. So make sure that the user that created it is Facebook. Or you can even, I know they have a resource guide, which I can pull up here and send a link to, because I know that it can be a little intimidating to get started there on Facebook Business Manager. Stand by as I pull up a link here for you, and I'll paste in the chat. And I'll have a special guest with me also on the 24th, who is our content manager here at Social Media, her name is Samantha. So there'll be the two Sams in the chat, but she is truly exceptional at what she does here, and she'll be able to provide quite a bit of information. So another innovation here in 2021 is that Facebook and Instagram have, which are both owned by Facebook, they have merged. So you are able to simultaneously market on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, pretty effortlessly. Now I'm dropping a link in here, which will take you right to the Facebook business. And there's should be a step-by-step guide to do it here. And pardon me for this link being a little bit long, but if you copy that in there, you should be able to get started right from there, and they should have some guides to help you get started there, Ricky. I hope that's helpful, and I look forward to really going in depth on the 24th. But some more information about that which is interesting, and I'm sure everyone hears about the privacy issues that social media platforms are facing sometimes, where they may be garnering or gleaning a lot of information from their users and using that information to, they sell that information to people who are marketing, or to agencies who might be using that information to to learn about your buying habits, and then they can suggest specific products. I'm sure we've all done that, where you Google something, a pair of shoes, and then for the next 6 weeks, everywhere you look, you see those shoes on your social media platform. These are all tools that are available through the Facebook Business Suite. Now, we might see that as invasive, but as a marketer, that tool can be really useful in connecting or making sure that your ads are seen by the right audience, and that you're not wasting any money advertising to people who would never use their services. So again, looking forward to talking more about that on the 24th. Now, I think one of the exciting things is that there's a lot of opportunities for people who aren't online to get online. There's different programs that are, there's grants available to get yourself online. And we recently were connected with something called the Get Connected program, which allowed grants for people who had brick and mortar stores to get themselves a website and get online. Because truly, in the past 12 months and looking forward to the next year and beyond, there's never been a better time to get online, and there's a lot of opportunity to get assistance, even to get your website started and get yourself out there online, in this time. And I think there's some resources. You could either email me myself, and we can help you get connected to the right people, or I even think the SBDC here can help as well, as like how, because sometimes wondering, well, how do I get started? What's the first steps? Just being here might be that first step, and then reaching out to learn more and help yourself get connected. It's very important. I think there's another, even people who aren't brick and mortar, one of the other things that which is exciting is people who are just starting out and they're looking to kind of start very strong with a strong website presence. We recently collaborated with a startup company called Legacy in a Glass, where they only had an idea for a website, which it was from someone in the wine industry. A 40-year veteran in the wine industry wanted to offer consulting services through their website. So we built them a website, we created a brand with them, and we got them online. And from that website, they were able to gain an audience through blogging, which is a great way to raise your SEO or to appear in search engine or search results. And from that, they've grown, and they actually just launched this past week their brand new wine label that they developed themselves. So from this website, using that as a stepping stone, they have built their business into something that they sell a product, and it's found in the PA wine and liquor stores across Pennsylvania. And they now have a video series that they are launching. They host a podcast, all these things. Their website their business is entirely virtual on that website, but they are now, they've gone from just consulting and creating content on the website to being a full-fledged business. So whether you're looking to get online for the first time and you've had a brick and mortar store, or you've just, you're looking to start something new and have an online presence for it, now is truly a wonderful time to do it. Please feel free to drop any questions. I know that as we're moving here towards the potential end, and if anybody's typing anything, I just want to give a quick overview of maybe these next sessions. So the May 17th session is called Boosting Your Digital Reputation. So in that session, as a sneak preview, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into search engine optimization, as well as developing content that will help take your website to the next level, or even social media and leveraging social media to get people to the website, to take your website to the next level and be found organically or through paid means on search engines. So that's the May 17th session. And then the May 24th session, like I was saying, we're going to be talking about marketing your business from home. And we'll be looking at social media platforms like the Business Manager, as well as other items to go ahead and make sure that you can get the word out about your product or service.
Feel free, please, before we wrap up, to unmute and ask any questions that you might have. Ricky has one in the chat.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. Another one, another free resource is called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, which is if you're not a graphic designer, but you want to make really well-designed posts, this is a free resource, and it's basically like a 1, 2, 3 step, and you can learn you can make really easy designs for free, and they have templates and whatnot. It's a good way to make posts, just so you know. Oh, okay, gotcha. Perfect. Yeah, there's a lot of programs, and I'm gonna loop back to the first slide here, so I have my contact information there that help you get connected and get online. And there's other platforms that allow you to get online for, pretty inexpensive in comparison to what it might have been a few years ago or even before the pandemic. Just for convenience, I'll drop my email in the chat here, which is the best way to get started.
Sam, it's Dorothy again.
Hey, Dorothy.
I just wanted to, and I'm not saying this is a promotion for Cole Creative, but I just wanted to have you say that you have all sorts of levels of, I guess, packages you would call them for businesses,
For sure.
For small business up to larger corporations. So I guess my piece was just that working with an agency is not necessarily out of a small business's budget.
For sure. I think, I had, when I was speaking and laying out the different types of collaboration opportunities, so between doing it yourself, a freelancer, and agency, just because agency is that third option doesn't mean it's cost prohibitive. We collaborate with businesses of all shapes and sizes, and we have different packages basically available for any level. And all of them include maintenance and training. So if you want to learn how to update your website yourself afterwards, that's all included in how we collaborate with people. And we've grown our own businesses from working with, we've grown our own business here at Cole Creative from working with small businesses, local community organizations, and beyond. And it's really where our heart is, and it's our passion. So we definitely are never trying to be cost prohibitive, and we work with collaborators of truly any budget. I see that Christine said that there is a site built through Square and Weebly, and it seems very limited. Yeah, that's kind of this first level, this DIY, do it yourself, where it's maybe you can set it up in an afternoon and it serves its purpose of getting you online, but you're definitely going to find that you run into that wall of capability. So it might not let you do everything that you wish that your website could do, or maybe you need a custom component, which you might need to work with a freelancer or an agency to make sure that your website is exactly what you hoped it would be. And like I was saying, we don't ever like to build something and just say, all right, here it is, see ya. We're very committed to, and you should be too, to making it work, so that it's not just up there and collecting dust, that you're making sure that you build a website and it's become now a tool to help you engage with potential customers or your current customers. But yeah, like I said, in these next courses, I'll have special guests with me. And now that we've kind of laid a foundation of what are your online opportunities and how to get started. In the next session, I'm going to be featuring a couple members here from the team at Cole Creative, where our SEO expert, our developer, in session 4, where we're going to be talking about making sure that people can find you using search engine tools like Google or Bing or Yahoo even. And then on the May 24th, we'll be talking with Samantha, who is our manager here of social media and beyond.
Not seeing any more questions in the chat. As we kind of wrap up here today, I want to just take a moment and thank you, Sam, for being here with us today and sharing your expertise. It was certainly very informative.
Very much. It was a pleasure.
I'd also just like to note for all attendees that I will be making available the recording of this training on the Wilkes University SBDC YouTube channel, and I will make sure that I email that link to all attendees. As Sam noted, our next session in this series is Monday, May 17th at noon, and that's going to discuss boosting your digital reputation, again with Cole Creative. And with that, I want to thank everyone for attending this training. And of course, if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at the SBDC. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you at our session next Monday. Thank you so much, everyone.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.